Hi, so today we will work on hips. I encourage 2 blocks, but if you only have one, that is fine. And if you don't have any, that's fine too. If you don't have props and you feel as if you do want them, you can grab books or 2 pillows or something that's about the same size, and just to bring the floor a little bit more closer to you. But no, it's an option. Again, I will cue to it. All right, so hips, it'll be more restorative. We'll go onto our back to start. So let's go onto our back and we'll introduce step there. Okay, slide your props down by your arms. Take figure 4. Right foot travels over your left thigh. Since it's early, you might just want to stay here. Right hand to the right knee, gently press forward. If you want a little bit more, you can interlace your hands behind your left thigh. So as you gently open up your right knee, either with your right elbow or with your right hand, just breathe. Feel your lungs expand into the lower lungs, hips. All right, take your right knee in and extend your left leg long. Point your left toes as if you're being pulled in 2 opposite directions. Left toes forward, right hip back or right knee back. And then gently circle the right knee in any direction that feels good. It's big or small circles. Great, take figure 4 other side. Left leg will cross your right thigh. And then try to massage your lower back down. Once again, you can stay with the right foot down, or you can interlace your hands. Either way, you use your left elbow, open left knee, or left hand, open left knee. Then bring your left knee in and extend your right leg long. Point your right toes, pull your left hip back. You should find the stretch into the right hip flexor. And then gently move around left knee, left hip. Take a full body stretch, extend your legs long, arms long, reach. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of your feet to touch, knees open wide. Your lower back can naturally rise here. Press your hands onto your thighs. Press your thighs forward as you lengthen out your spine. Once again, as if you're being pulled in 2 opposite directions. Your bottom half is being pulled forward, and from your waist to the crown of your head being pulled back. Take your feet hips width distance. This is where you'll have a block at, this is the 2nd level. So it goes 1st level, 2nd level, 3rd level. I will cue to the 2nd level. Make sure it's comfortable right under your sacrum. Now, if you don't have a block, that's okay. You'll still do the same variation. Right knee will drive in. And this one you have to be really mindful. The left hip flexor will extend the left leg long. If you're feeling too much of a pull, keep your left knee bent. If you want a little bit more, that same variation, draw your right knee back, point your left toes. And if it's uncomfortable into the block, know that you can move it. And then other side, left knee in, extend your right leg long. Once again, gentle pull back as you point your toes forward. You should find the stretch right into the right hip flexor. Then stamp your feet down, take regular bridge pose. You can feel supported onto the block. Slowly lift your hips up, release your block away. Knock your knees together, and then windshield wiper your feet to your knees, side to side. Grab the back of your thighs, rock and roll up to a seat with straight legs. And know that you can micro bend or always take a pillow underneath the knees if that feels better because it's early. Reach your hands up and exhale, fold. So once again, micro bend is okay. If you want a little bit more, you can place the block in front of the feet. So a lot of options to modify or advance. Slowly lift up. Take your right knee over for seated twist. Lengthen out your spine and gaze over right shoulder. Press right sitting bone down. So if you feel it curved up or you're leaning to the side, push it down towards the ground and hug your right knee in. Come back to center. Other side. Find length and then twist over to the left. You can gaze either all the way forward, all the way to the side, or all the way back. Just avoid that 45-degree angle. Back to center. Take both feet forward. This will get higher into the hamstrings. Take your block on the first level, which is the lowest. Your heels to the block. And once again, a pillow or anything that feels good. Drive onto the sitting bones. Knees can bend if you like. Reach up and then reach for either your calves, pull forward, the block, or the outer edges of your feet. Then drive your heels forward. Slowly rise up, cross your ankles, plant your hands, move the blocks to the top of your mat, and arrive all the way to a tabletop position. And let's move the blocks to the lowest level, to the hands for downward facing dog, just to create some more space. You can take your feet hips width distance, sway your hips side to side. Then gaze forward, top of your mat, and travel to your gaze. Take your blocks to the second level, to the side of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back, and exhale, fold. Halfway lift and pause. Your hands are onto the blocks. Right foot is forward, left leg is back. Walk your blocks underneath your shoulders. And straighten out your right leg. Pull your right hip back. And then lunge forward. Maybe drop your left hip down. Straighten out right leg. Lunge forward. And take about 2 more times on your own. And blocks are great to keep that halfway lift through the body. If you're having trouble rounding your back and you can't get it straight, create space with blocks. They're so helpful. Twist, the left hand is your base, the right hand goes high. Hands go down, switch out your legs. Left leg goes forward, right leg goes back. Your belly is off of your left thigh, your heart is forward. When you're ready, straighten out your left leg. And each side feels a little bit different. So if you feel really tight on one side, or if you want even more space, take the blocks to the highest level. All right, stay into your lunge. Twist, take your left arm high. And hands go down to your lunge. Step your feet forward. Take Utkatasana chair pose. Notice my hands are still onto the blocks. They're supporting me just a little bit, but still long work into the legs. Forward fold, hips go up high. Inhale, halfway lift. I'm still using the props here. And step your right leg back. And let's make it to a high crescent lunge. So you're nice and supported here. Reach your hands biceps by your ears and then lengthen all the way up. Now, if you're feeling any crunching into the lower back, you can micro bend your knee, tuck your tailbone until you can feel length out of your waist. Hands go down to the props. Straighten out your right leg. Twist, left arm goes high. And hands go down. High pyramid pose, travel your right foot to a 45-degree angle. Left leg goes back. And if you want a little bit more, fold or turn the blocks to a lower level. Take a halfway lift through your spine. Now left hand is your base. I'll cue to the highest level onto the prop. So know that you're flipping the prop size a lot, but it's going to be useful and helpful. So the highest level with the prop. Left hand goes high for the twist. And hands go down. Bend your left knee and step forward. Switch out your legs to the crescent lunge. Remember, the hands can stay down to start. Pump your right hip back, left hip in. When you're ready, feel the foundation through your legs. Reach at a diagonal and then all the way up. You can micro bend your left knee. Slowly drop your hands down to your blocks. Twist. The right hand goes high. And hands go down for high pyramid pose. So you'll shorten, widen your stance with the left leg. Right hip goes back. Pull your chest forward. It's a great option to stay here or lower chest down. If you took the twist, the blocks at the highest level, right hand goes high, hands go down, and step your feet forward. You can go to Malasana with the block to the lowest level and sit down, feet out wide, or Malasana with no prop. Malasana with a prop is really great, so you can focus on pressing into the inner thighs pressing back, and just feeling supported as you continue to work into the legs. Either stay here, I'll cue to crow pose with the blocks, so it's a little bit trickier, but it does add more space. You'll take a block, so one to each hand. If you only have one block, then just do regular crow with your hands down onto the ground. So you've got a bit more lift here. Make sure you feel okay and sturdy. You're a little bit higher away from the ground. Take your time and find your lift. If this does not work for you, then come down and try it again with no props. When you're ready, Malasana Yogi squat. Shake out your wrist. And take a forward fold, hips go go high. Walk your feet and hips with distance. And step your right leg back. Drop your back knee. Slide your blocks to the highest level by your hips. Keep your left hand onto the block. Right hand goes high. And lean over to the left. You can use your block as support. And make sure left knee does not open up. It stays towards the middle. And arrive back up to center. Half splits. Straighten out your left leg. You can stay lifted with the prop. And then walk your hands over to your left. Arrive back up to center. Bend your knees, arrive onto your shins. Hands go back behind you, similar to camel pose. Hug your elbows, lift your heart up, and open mouth exhale. Neutralize your spine, hands onto the props. Take your right knee forward into a lunge. Readjust with the right hand down, left hand up, and then lean over to the right as you press your hips forward. Arrive back up to center, half switch, straighten out your right leg. And if you want, walk your hands over to the right. Arrive back up to center. Shift your weight forward. And let's go to half pigeon on the right. Lift your back knee. Right knee goes to your right wrist or take down dog kick and forward. You can stay lifted here, really driving right hip back, lifting heart forward. Or if you want, you can drop down to a block or your forehead. Only here for 6 rounds of breath. Right, and slowly lift up, straighten out your arms. Make it to a tabletop position. All floors, hands and knees. You open up the right side, modified side plank. Left hand down, extend your right leg and reach your right hand high. Once you feel shoulder over the wrist, point your right toes and tap them back to the right back corner. Reach your top hand overhead, then press your hips forward. And slowly bring your right hand to your hip. Now you're going to drop down to a seat, and your right knee is going to touch the left sole of your foot. Take your left hand as your base, press your hips forward, find your reach. And hover down. Same variation, but extend your right leg long. Point your right toes. Press all the way up. Find your side body stretch. And arrive back down. Take your right forearm to the right inner thigh. Reach your left arm overhead. Slowly arrive up to center. Bend your right knee to a seated twist. So both knees will be bent. Wiggle into your space. Find length and twist over to the right. Counter stretch other side. Back to center. Take tabletop position to the front of your mat. And downward facing dog. Keep your right toes high, so the same leg. Open up your hip. Maybe create a straight leg as you open up, or even a circle here. Then downward facing dog, hips go up and back. Take your left toes high, open up your hip, either with a straight leg or any rotation. When you're ready, half pigeon on your left. Readjust your stance, pull your heart forward. And when you're ready, bow down. Six rounds of breath. Really breathe into the lower lungs, lower hips. Then straighten out your legs, straighten out your arms. Take tabletop position. Take your left knee back. So modified side plank. Right knee is down, right hand is down, left arm goes overhead. Point your left toes and bring them to the back corner. Flip your palm towards the front. Press your hips forward, find your reach. Left hand to the hip. Now move onto the hips and take your left knee to the right sole of your foot. Right hand goes down, press your hips up, find your reach. And slowly relax down. Take your left foot off to the side. One more hip flexor stretch, point your left toes, find your reach. And hover down. Take your left forearm down, reach your right arm overhead. And arrive back to center. Take a straddle position, toes out. You can stay lifted here, or if you want a little bit more, drop down to your forearms and just breathe. Slowly walk your hands back. Now take your right knee in, give it a bend, seated twist, left knee goes over. Find length and then twist over to the left. Counter stretch other side. Back to center. Now you'll cradle the left foot into the right elbow crease. Flex it in there. And then left elbow crease to the left knee. And you'll shake side to side or circle, wherever it feels good. Now this is the only variation that we'll do for this. If you know the inversion and you want to go there, feel free to move on. Lengthen your spine up, draw your shoulders back. And then other side, slowly drop your left shin, switch it out with your right, hug your right foot into your elbow crease, and then gently shake side to side. Lengthen out your spine. All right, and then slowly release. If you would like double pigeon, left shin is down, Right shin is over. So like two fire logs on top of each other. If you feel like one leg is lifting, more a pillow might feel better, but you can add a block right there. Now, if you're stacking your shins here, flex your feet, take your left arm down or left forearm down, reach your right hand overhead. And then fold, hinge at your waist, drop down. If you want your head to relax down onto a prop, you can bring it to the highest level or wherever it feels good. Slowly rise up. Switch out your feet. You can lift yourself up and drop down to your sitting bones, and always know if you're not hinging or if you need a little bit higher lift, you can build your blocks like Legos and make it higher. Let's take that side body stretch. Left arm goes overhead, press left sitting bone down. And then slowly fold. Slowly rise up. Turn to the top of your mat. Unravel your feet so for reverse tabletop. Fingertips point towards your glutes. Open up your shoulders. Lift your hips up. Breathe into the hips. Shift your weight back. Drop your head if it feels okay. And then slowly relax your hips down. Similar to a fish pose. Drop down to your forearms. Thumbs towards your hips. Point your toes. Lift your heart. Drop your head back. Hold 3. Lead with your heart, chin towards the chest and all the way down onto your back. You can invite bridge or wheel. Bridge pose, you can have supported or lift your hips. Wheel pose, fingertips by your shoulders. Lift to the crown of your head and then lift up. Any variation you take, hold 3. Slowly, safely drop down to your back and hips. Knock your knees together, soles of your feet out wide. Arms out to a T or goalpost position. Take your knees to the right and right foot on top of your left thigh. Melt into your space. Other side. Knees to the left, left foot on top of your right thigh. And back to center. Full body stretch. Reach your arms overhead, legs long. We'll take supine twist with an extended leg. If it does not feel good, just take it bent. Right knee draws in. So where it will not feel good is your hamstrings and lower back if it's too tight. So if it feels too tight, keep your knee bent just like this. For an extended leg, flex your right toes, capture with your left hand, and kick off to the right. Bump your right hip forward, and option for quad stretch with your back foot. Other side. Flex your left toes, capture the outer edge with your right hand. Kick towards the left, quad stretch if you like. Left shoulder down, left hip forward. Close your eyes and relax. All right, back up to center. Hug your knees in, lift your forehead close to your knee. Full body stretch, reach your arms overhead. Now yogis, two options here. I will cue to child's pose and then to a seat to end class. If you don't want to do that, you can stay onto your back and just settle into your shavasana. Hug your knees in. If you would like to make it to child's pose, rock your weight back and forth. Take your hands forward, knees out wide, and press your hips back, child's pose. Shift your weight forward, drop your hips down, just breathe. Child's pose and then to a seat. Close your knees, either onto your shins or a block. And as you ride to a seat, take one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. Press your hands against your body. At the same time, breathe into your hands. And you feel this connection, love, support to your own body. Rest your hands onto your lap, either palms down or palms up, and bring attention to your lower belly, pelvic floor, hips, and lower back. Build heat, strength, compassion, love for your hips, lower belly, lower back, and pelvic floor. Bring attention of your breath to your hips. Once again, giving compassion, love, support, warmth into your hips, pelvic floor, lower back, and belly. If you're on your back, you can arrive to a seat or stay onto your back. And if you're at a seat, take your hands to your heart, one on top of the other. Breathe all the way into your chest and feel your shoulders slightly rise and draw down. Clear your mind, clear your throat. Feel balance in your heart, balance in your body. And so much care and connection to yourself. Deep breath in. Open mouth, exhale. Breathe in. Open mouth, exhale. Thumbs to your third eye, space in between your brows. Connect, feel creative, feel balanced for your day. Bow to each other's practice. Namaste. Thanks, yogis. Again, props, so useful. I use them in every one of my practices that I do on my own. Even if I don't need it, brings the floor closer to me. There's so much more I can focus on with energy moving around my body, more stretch, more flexibility. So blocks. This is Manduka. I think you can get them off of Amazon. I'm sure you can. You can get everything off of Amazon quickly. So I encourage the wooden or cork blocks. The foam is great too. It's just going to be a little bit like more cushion, might not last as long. So the cork ones are really great. Thickness, make sure it's not too thin, kind of where your hand can flat on it. The width part is just really what you want to look for. Cool. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, ashleyj.fitness, or any questions here. All right. I hope you enjoyed the props and I hope you use them. It will definitely increase your flexibility and be way more comfortable for you. All right. Thanks for tuning in and I will see you soon. Aloha.